Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I was watching Betsy DeVos on TV the other day talking about the American education system. And I don't know if you guys know who Betsy DeVos is, but she was the former, for Trump, she was over the Board of Education for the United States. But anyway, she was discussing why our education system has dropped so low. She was stating that was because of COVID. I don't agree with that. Our education systems started dropping way before COVID. And she thinks the solution is school choice. Yeah, that would work if the schools you had to choose from taught differently. See, we haven't been number one in education since the baby boomers in the 60s and 70s. Now we're so low, it's ridiculous. It's very sad how unintelligent um, our youth are becoming. Um, I think it's in the way that we are teaching our children. I mean, I saw it back in 2009 when my oldest daughter was in the ninth grade, and I had to buy her this $300 scientific calculator. Uh, but the sad thing is, they were allowed to use this calculator on tests. And in my opinion, you're not really teaching the kid how to do math or solve problems and graphs. You're teaching them how to use equipment. I never understood that. I mean, back in my day, you call me old dinosaur if you may, um, we used graph paper and a pencil to find the axis of X and Y and things like that. But now, you just use a calculator and use it during class. Now, some of you may not have known, I took in a teenager, 12 years old, he's now 13, and it's even worse. Now they use a system called Desmos. And basically, what they do is they put an equation into this software called Desmos, and it gives them the answer. Again, you're not educating them. You're teaching them how to use software and or equipment. We're also not allowing our children to learn. We're indoctrinating them instead of educating. We're not teaching them how to think. For someone to become intelligent, they have to be able to know how to think. You can't tell everything to everybody and they remember. They need to know how to think for themselves. So as time goes on, children can't think for themselves. They rely on this equipment or gadgets or anything. They could never do anything without electronics. That's why our education system is so low. Now, if people created schools that taught children how to think without indoctrination and without equipment, allowed them to use equipment as well as having them do a test using a pen and paper, our education wouldn't be as low as it is. So I don't know what Betsy DeVos is talking about. If she thinks COVID's been around for 60 years, it hasn't. Uh, but there are bigger problems than COVID and our kids being out of school. Then I'm not saying that it didn't affect some children being at home. But this problem with teaching kids how to use equipment instead of actually using their mind is a bigger problem. I'm Dion Alexander, American First.